Every week, we bring you the Recruiting Roundup, brought to you this week by IBEW, the Contractors Union 640. We appreciate their support in what they do throughout the Valley and on sports360az.com and here on the Recruiting Roundup with Jordan Ham, who knows all and tells all. All right, we are less than 30 days away from the start of the 2021 season. We've got some recruiting news and notes to get to over the last few weeks, but I want to know from you, got a couple players that you want to circle back on? That, Brad, I saw them in May and in June at sevens, and then they went to camps and all that stuff. I haven't seen them in a few months. You got a couple names?
Yeah, I think, this quarterback class to me is really, really interesting because I think quarterbacks were probably the most affected by all of these limitations over the past year and a half. Most schools only take one. So it's always a slightly different process for quarterbacks. Those dominoes fall a little bit differently, but I think this class especially had some guys that were really under the radar, perhaps for what they were able to accomplish. You saw Brayton Silbor, the Chaparral quarterback, commit to New Mexico. The two that jump out to me, at least off top of mind, is Ridge Dutchical and then Trayson Bourget as well. Where are they going to be making that decision? When are they going to be making those decisions? Typically, quarterbacks like to try to get it wrapped up before their senior year. But in this case, they may want to play that senior year out a little bit, get a little bit more tape, and then see where the chips fall. They both have plenty of offers that they can choose from, but I'm just really intrigued by what both of them may or may not do over the next month.
Bourget at South Point and Ridge up at Saguaro, so keep an eye on those two programs. All right. In terms of the offers, you can go a lot of different directions. Fire away. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, I want to start with three commitments, actually. Karan Adams over at Chandler High School. This is a guy that ran a 10.5, 100 meters as a freshman, one of the fastest players in the entire state, in the entire country. He committed to Iowa State this past week, and that was a big one. Obviously, a huge home run hitter for Rick Garrettson over at Chandler, but he's also teaming up with Eli Sanders again. Eli was at Chandler. He was a bit of the Thunder, and now you have Karan heading to Ames as well, and he's going to be the Lightning. So what Matt Campbell's been able to do, build a Fiesta Bowl roster with a lot of Arizona guys, has been really impressive, and Karan is certainly going to continue that. And then NAU continuing to do some really good work. Devin Grubbs, the running back over at Desert Vista, he's also played safety. He led the Thunder in tackles as well as rushing yards last year. His brother Tyson is already up there, so good to see him make that commitment. And then Brevin Chisnicka, the linebacker over at O'Connor, also committed to NAU. And the middle of this O'Connor defense, I think, going to be pretty impressive. They have some leaders and guys that are getting looks. So he made his commitment to the Lumberjacks as well. And then a few Power 5 offers to take a look at as well. Miles Libman, the wide receiver over at Pinnacle. We know Marcus Libman very well from a few classes ago. He ended up at Columbia. Miles, when you talk to the coaching staff, a lot of love for Marcus, but they say that Miles is taller. He's also a little bit faster. So I think this very strange year and a half that we've been through, the eyeballs were pretty limited on him, but U of A came calling. Very smart of them to jump on him. I saw him at some sevens this offseason, and he was all over the place making catches. That's going to be a really fun offense to watch with him, Deuce Robinson, Zach Wren at quarterback as well. And then Day Buchanan, who is now over at Basha High School, can play running back, can play defensive back, adds an offer from Arizona as well. And then Basha's quarterback, Demond Williams, are adding to his already impressive laundry list of offers. He adds Louisville.
UNLV has come back into the state. Here's a program that is slowly starting to get after Arizona the last few years, from my view.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple different coaching staffs over the years, but they've, in their own ways, have prioritized Arizona. Over at UNLV, Jordan Powpow, who's now at U of A, he was one that was able to pluck a couple of guys some players out of the state of Arizona. But with these two players that get offered, Fisher Kamick, he is over at Highland. He's 6'7", a defensive end, 44 tackles on the year, really impressive numbers. And Brock Farrell just does a really good job developing that defense, especially the guys up in the front seven. And then Nick Morrow, a tight end over at Flagstaff. He's been adding a couple offers here and there. Always fun to see just how statewide recruiting has really become. We haven't mentioned Flagstaff. often that, over the past couple of years, but good to see him starting to get looks from programs like UNLV.
That is Jordan Ham. That is the Recruiting Roundup. And it's every week brought to you by IBEW, the Contractors Union, Local 640.